Hello, welcome, and thanks for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Romancing. Top in this newscast, senators heard from officials at Schneider Regional Medical Center on Friday. Discussion focused on the ongoing patient capacity crisis at the hospital's dialysis unit. News 2's Erica Bivens reports.
On Friday, officials from Schneider Regional Medical Center testified they have not accepted visiting dialysis patients since March because they're at their maximum capacity of 101 patients.
Due to our existing resource and space limitations, this is the maximum capacity for both patients and equipment that we're able to accommodate at this time.
They already have a waiting list and currently utilize the emergency room for dialysis treatment.
The patient who receives treatment in the emergency department should be receiving treatment at least 3 times a week, an average of 12 hours of treatment each week per patient. However, due to capacity issues, they can only receive an average of 7 hours of treatment each week.
Officials said there are risks for these patients who don't get adequate treatment. However, the dialysis unit operates at a $2 million loss annually already. But there could be hope with an RFP with DaVita. The company is in discussions with SRMC on acquisition of the dialysis unit as well as other options. Plans are underway for an on-site visit within the next 2 weeks, and employees have their fingers crossed.
Our best hope is for the RFP to go through successfully.
For now, hospital officials say they haven't asked the government for financial help on the expansion of the dialysis unit because if the RFP is successful, DaVita would infuse funding. But despite challenges, officials say their staff remains committed to patient care, working with what they have.
We have staff, nurses, support staff, other people who are working hard and making extra efforts to be sure that what needs to get done gets done.
Hospital officials also spoke about prevention efforts to reduce the number of future patients needing dialysis treatment. Reporting at the legislature on St. Thomas, I'm Erica Bivens for News 2.
Meanwhile, Department of Health officials also testified Friday responding to allegations dealing with EMTs.
I do take the allegations very seriously, and immediately actions were put in place to ensure that a trained and appropriate individual can conduct an objective investigation of the process in order to ensure that the investigation process is not compromised, that we could not speak publicly to the allegations.
The American Legion will be hosting their 44th annual district convention on Saturday in St. Thomas. Legionnaires from all 3 islands will be represented at Saturday's conference, which will be held at the Post in Subbase from 10 to 4.
At the convention, what we do is go over plans and issues that affect veterans in the Virgin Islands to take to our national convention in Puerto Rico at the end of this month. We're going to be having one of the speakers, Senator Payne, who is the chairman of the Veterans Affairs Committee, and we also having the director of the VA Health Caribbean from Puerto Rico going to be attending the convention, to let us know what the Department of Veterans Affairs in Puerto Rico is doing to help the veterans in the Virgin Islands. And we encouraging, whether you're a Legionnaire or not, you can come on out and join us.
The Virgin Islands National Guard will host Freedom Salute ceremonies on St. Thomas May 18th and St. Croix May 19th to honor 108 Virgin Islands Army National Guard soldiers and their families during their deployment in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. The ceremony will take place on St. Croix at the Leonard B. Francis Readiness Center and on St. Croix at the Lionel A. Jackson Readiness Center, both beginning at 4 p.m. On behalf of the National Guard Bureau, the Virgin Islands Army National Guard will present each eligible soldier with an encased American flag, as well as a sequentially numbered commemorative coin, certificate of appreciation, and a lapel pin. During a press conference this week, police officials expressed outrage over the recent burning of 6 brand new police cruisers. Police said they're continuing to investigate, but they want residents to come forward with any information they might have.
The cars that were bought were not even turned over to us yet, but they're for a purpose, which is to assist the community in need. when they need it. We want to get from point A to B as quickly as we can. The police department and the government of the Virgin Islands stepped up and beyond to get these cars, which is the first fully police packages cars, to come to the territory. And then we have someone or some people, doing this to the cars. It makes absolutely no sense. But I assure you, we are going to do everything we can to deal with the individuals involved to the full extent of the law, within the law. So I'm asking community support, to assist us in this endeavor.
And News 2 will keep you updated. In the face of the ongoing economic crisis, senators from the 30th legislature have come up with several ideas to generate income into the territory's treasury. 2 senators have crafted legislation to address the government's fiscal challenges, while another has announced a few ideas. News 2's Erica Parsons has more on the proposals.
Senator Terrence Nelson and Narita O'Reilly have teamed up to fix the territory's fiscal failings. The 2 lawmakers say they've crafted a bill that, if passed, would not only save money for the government, it would also generate revenues for the territory's treasury. They say the bill is in response to the administration's request for help to fill a budget shortfall of $19 million. The measure calls for a plan to borrow from within, namely from the Public Finance Authority, under terms that would benefit both parties. According to both senators, the PFA currently reports $72 million in unspent funds that's set aside for capital projects. Senator Riley says internal borrowing has already been done, and she gave the example of the loan the government got from GERS, which was secured by delinquent property taxes. In this case, the PFA monies are already backed by gross receipts taxes. The senators are also proposing an austerity package in addition to the internal borrowing that would give a 1% discount for prepayment of gross receipts taxes annually, sale of the 2012 property tax portfolio to GERS, a planning board to reduce non-service unclassified employees to a maximum of 1,000, voluntary part-time employment status with benefits for all branches, and, if possible, a 4-day, 40-hour week. To increase revenues, they propose to create government PayPal accounts to expedite and maximize collections, lease space on government-owned communications towers, negotiate a 1% reduction of gross receipts and excise tax waivers offered to EDC beneficiaries, and fund the purchase of handheld automated credit card payment machines for the police department. The senators say these proposals have been submitted to the legislature's legal counsel for drafting and will be presented before the Senate for consideration. Erica Parsons, News 2.
Senator Alicia Hansen has also come up with several ideas to generate new revenue. News 2 will have more next week on what those proposals are. The Bureau of Internal Revenue said today was that deadline. Many taxpayers scrambled into the office. Taxpayers had until this date, May 17th, to take advantage of Operation Last Chance. The program gives taxpayers of all types the opportunity to pay all taxes due without penalty. Director Claudette Watson-Anderson says the Bureau will review each taxpayer's situation on a case-by-case basis and provide guidance on how to comply. Officials say taxpayers who missed this deadline will be prosecuted. You can call the Bureau for more information if you missed today's deadline. The IRS scandal is front and center today in Washington. The House Ways and Means Committee grilled the ousted acting commissioner of the tax agency, and some lawmakers continue to point fingers directly at the president. Danielle Nottingham reports from Capitol Hill.
The ousted acting commissioner of the IRS told Congress politics did not motivate the tax agents who targeted Tea Party groups for extra scrutiny.
I think that what happened here was that foolish mistakes were made by people trying to be more efficient in their workload selection. The listing described in the report, while intolerable, was a mistake and not an act of partisanship.
Lawmakers on the House Ways and Means Committee came down hard on Stephen Miller, saying his agency failed the American people and that managers failed to come clean to Congress.
This is wrong to abuse the tax system. This screams out for tax reform, does it not?
I think it's an area ripe for redefinition and reform, yes, sir.
The Treasury Inspector General also testified. He confirmed his findings that the IRS singled out conservative groups for unfair treatment.
The IRS used inappropriate criteria to target for review Tea Party and other organizations based on their name and policy positions.
President Obama said he did not know about the IRS scandal until it came out in the headlines last week, but Republican leaders are keeping the White House on the defensive.
This appears to be just the latest example of a culture of cover-ups and political intimidation in this administration.
The president has promised to continue the crackdown at the IRS. He appointed 42-year-old Daniel Werfel as the new acting commissioner. And along with Congress, he's demanding a clean break from past mistakes. Danielle Nottingham, News 2.
And keeping our eye on the economy, Venezuelans are used to shortages in medicine and basic food like milk and sugar, but now people are scrambling to stock up on toilet paper, which is now in short supply. The president blames anti-government forces for the shortages. They say they are trying to destabilize the country. The government announced this week it will import 76,000 tons of food and 50 million rolls of toilet paper. And the Powerball jackpot is now up to $550 million for tomorrow's drawing. It's expected to break last year's $587 million prize. And coming up next, stick around. Federal agencies along with volunteer organizations and local businesses are sharing information about being prepared for disasters. What you need to know as these expos continue. Just a reminder, the 12th annual Relay for Life fundraiser on St. Croix will be taking place this weekend. It's the American Cancer Society's way of celebrating, remembering, and fighting cancer. Teams walk, run, or jog to raise awareness to fight for the cause. The fun begins at 4 p.m. Saturday at the Educational Complex Field and goes on until Sunday. If you're not signed up, you can still do so. You can also purchase t-shirts to help show support. There will be live music, Zumba entertainment, and lots of fun for the entire family. Meanwhile, on St. Thomas, now is the time to register your team for the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life to give everyone in the community a chance to help the organization that saves lives and creates a world with less cancer and more birthdays. You can register your team today. To get more information about forming a team, you can call 775-6373 or 775-5373 or by visiting relayforlife.org on St. Thomas. Team packets are available at the American Cancer Society's office. Relay for Life takes place from 4 p.m. on June 29th until 10 a.m. June 30th at the Charlotte Amalie High School track, and of course that's on St. Thomas. Claudio Marco Elementary School in St. Croix is celebrating. The school's after-school and Saturday Academy programs received an A+ and held a year-end ceremony Thursday at the school. Parents and other family members were also singing praises. 3 years ago, the St. Croix district rolled out a number of technology-based intervention programs, such as the popular Achieve 3000, that were meant to provide support for struggling learners while giving those performing at grade level an extra boost. All 16 schools on St. Croix are now in their second year of working with Achieve 3000, and many have reported significant growth in student lexile or reading levels. Well, it's timely with hurricane season starting June 1st on St. Thomas Thursday and St. John today. Local and federal agencies, along with volunteer organizations and local businesses, were stationed at Tutu Park Mall to provide the community with all the necessary information. But officials remind us it's not just hurricanes we need to prepare for. As the 2013 hurricane season approaches, VITEMA has teamed up with many other agencies to encourage VI residents to get their families and property ready now. But officials remind us it's not just hurricanes we need to prepare for.
We got to learn ourselves now to all hazard, which includes tsunami, the threat of terrorism.
And that's why this annual expo is necessary.
It's a call to duty all citizens within the Virgin Islands to make ready. Not only for themselves, but for their families. So what we're doing here, the local and federal agencies, we're spreading the word. We're asking the citizens to come down and get as much information as they possibly can.
Expo is very important. Folks can come out and get a lot of information as to what they can do when a hurricane is imminent in our area. The information that they receive here today may save their lives.
In the case of an incident or a catastrophe, you have to be just as prepared because there's a short window that you have to take care of yourself until the government comes in and takes care of you.
The overall message, taking preparedness steps enhances the response and recovery processes.
When it comes to WAPA, when you see a power line down and a storm is coming through, it's in your best interest to have everything turned off so that you don't have those surges coming in when the power do come on. Or if a line do bust down, it can act as a surge also.
We want people to know what's out there. And because we're a sponsor, we're of course bigging up our EX drawing ticket as well. And people have this opportunity to win a $100 gift certificate to Home Depot. Everybody needs Home Depot, especially during hurricane season.
And if there are any hazards that expose the first responders, we would be an intimate part with VITEMA to work to ensure individuals have the proper work rest cycles, they're not exposed to chemicals in the wrong way. So we're more a helping hand.
So there's some of the things that St. Thomas Rescue offer. We even show you some of the stuff that we use for actually the CPR mannequin. You see we have over here. CPR is good because many a times in these disasters you won't be able to get close to a medical facility, may not be ready available, or if it is available you can't get to it, so you need to know something.
There are key activities you should keep in mind. Prepare an emergency kit. Stock up on non-perishable food and water to sustain you and your family for up to 72 hours. Ensure you include important papers, insurance, identification, etc.
We are have these stuff on exhibit to show the people and the public what Costas has to offer to them for the upcoming hurricane season.
We're just asking them 3 simple things: to get a kit, to make a plan for themselves and the family, and to be informed. Listen to TV2 such as yourself, the radio for information that's going to be coming out on a regular basis by VITEMA and the National Weather Service with regards to this year prediction and other information in terms of making themselves ready for this any eventuality that might affect the Virgin Islands.
Now on Thursday, the expo was held at Tutu Park Mall and took place St. John today at the Franklin Powell Park. The next expo will be held on Saturday, May 18th on St. Croix from 10 to 3 at the Butter Park in Frederickstead. And the big sponsors included Innovative, VI Lottery, National Guard, and Cost US. Well, Texas Governor Rick Perry will visit Granbury, Texas this afternoon to see the damage left by a deadly tornado. And Wednesday night, the twister killed 2 women and 4 men in the North Texas city. Several more people remain unaccounted for. Nearby Cleburne has canceled school for the 2nd day because of the damages left by the twister and power outages. The National Weather Service said that the tornado that tore through the community was rated an EF3. Stick around. Our News 2 weather forecast is coming up next.